Hey, Kacey,
Yes.
you know what's important?
Apple News
No, we got haircuts.
on the Infinite Loop Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Infinite Loop Show, episode number 39. I got a haircut. My name is Michael Gaines.
And I got a haircut, and my name's Kacey Coughlin.
But we didn't get them together.
No, that would be weird.
No, I got a haircut out of shame because Kacey just kept calling me a hippie. I haven't been able to get my haircut. I was like, is my girl available? And there's like, no, not for a week. I'm like, what do you kidding? And that happens to me like once in a while. It's like she's usually available that day or something like that. And every once in a while she gets really busy. So, yeah, that. And I had jury duty and what was it? Comic-Con. So I was looking at my pictures of myself at Comic-Con and I was like, holy crap, my hair is long. I didn't realize that.
I told you, it is.
And you're calling me a hippie and other people are calling me a hippie. I'm like, oh, God. I didn't realize, you know what it is? It's like, it gets to a point where it gets in my eyes. And like, once it gets in my eyes, then I know it's too long. And this time, I think what had happened was like the back grew faster than the front this time around. And so I didn't realize, I'm like, no, yeah, it's getting there. And then the picture, I see the pictures like, holy crap. So that was that. And you got, how much did you get chopped off?
More than 6 inches, like 8 or so. Maybe 9 inches.
Okay. Well, this is important stuff. These are things that I'm sure everybody wants to hear
cutting
about.
Edge news here. I mean, you're not going to hear this anywhere else but here, folks.
Well, we're talking about this only because we do a live video feed when we do the show. So if you're watching us or not watching us, we're on YouTube. If you ever want to see what our haircuts look like, oh God,
if you're not watching us, you are missing out on how good I look, people.
No, you know what I think we should do is we should have like before and after pictures of both our haircuts. It's
okay.
like hippie, not hippie.
Yeah, I think people, inquiring minds, want to know.
All right, let's stop this and we'll get to the news. Literally moments before we started recording, we were
breaking news.
Breaking this. Oh damn! Wait, I don't have a breaking news. Do I have a breaking? I don't have a breaking news. You know what? This is going to be my weekend project. Is that I'm going to have to create a breaking news track. Anyway, there was discussion earlier today. We're recording on Wednesday night, a little late, 11 Eastern. Earlier today, there was a rumor going around that Color, if anybody remembers that app from a billion years ago, internet time, was shutting down. Now, I used it. Did you use the original version?
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah, me too. Everybody else did for like 5 minutes, and then we just went, what are we going to do with this?
It was important because they got funding from a lot of people, mainly Sequoia Mutual or investors or something. They got upwards of like 41 million funded for this app.
Mm-hmm.
So there was kind of a lot of pressure and a lot of news around this app saying like, well, this is going to be some awesome, crazy stuff. I mean, look how much money they got. There's no way this app's going to fail.
No, of course, no way. Never.
And it was cutting edge, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps a little too much because nobody found a use for it.
I think there was one serious problem with the app, and I really don't remember what it was because it was so long ago. But there was one fundamental.
It only worked if you were with other people also using the app.
Right. So it was you can see the pictures from strangers. In fact, I do remember trying it out once. I think I was at a concert. and I was seeing feeds from other people, and that was the first time I used it out in the wild, not like at home, because at home it's like, well, who the hell else around here is going to be
that's
using it?
all I've used it, and it's like it's pointless unless you're at an event or a party and other people are using it.
So useless at home. Unless like people are going to watch me mow my lawn and I'm going to watch other people trim their flowers or something. Big deal.
It's an event, yeah.
So they changed to a different app. Now, I didn't know about this. You did, because I just stopped keeping up with it. And they changed to a live broadcaster.
Yeah, they tried to make a pivot and kind of keep themselves relevant. And so they redid the whole app, the logo, everything, and went to a live video broadcasting app. So you could kind of record and post videos and share them around kind of a social media type, thing. But again, that never really took off. Probably mainly because there's already a billion apps and social media sites and everything that do that already. Ustream, Justin TV, YouTube, Google Hangouts even. Like, there's a ton of areas and people already in that space. So good luck on that one. And that kind of fell short of the mark as well.
Right. So I just downloaded it for the first time in the pre-show. I was looking for the original app with the original logo. I'm like, I can't find this thing. Maybe it's pulled from the store. Kacey told me, nope, new name, new logo, and then I found it. So yeah, it you have to connect with Facebook. And
Facebook, all the things.
Oh, yeah, really. And which is all right. But the thing is that it limits you, because if I want to do something to Twitter, there's no way to say, do you want to connect to Twitter also? And that's irrelevant to the new app. Anyway, I haven't tried it yet, the new version, but that's not the point. The big point, the reason why we're talking about this on this show right now is because literally 10 minutes before we started recording, there was an article on the Next Web that said that Apple is rumored to be buying Color Labs. And we went, oh?
Even, before this even came out, just this evening, this afternoon, there was a rumor that Color was closing its doors and totally shutting down. And so that was floating around the tech blog saying like, oh, I guess, 41 million doesn't buy crap. They're closing their doors and they're totally, that's it. And then Color responded and everybody updated and said, no, that's not the case. They're not shutting down. And then tonight, this comes out that Apple possibly buying them, which makes sense because they got a lot of talent. I mean, it's not like the apps weren't beautiful and functional. They just couldn't hit a mark or anything. So
look at Path.
I can see Apple buying it just for the talent.
Yeah, look at Path. Path is a wonderful, beautiful app, but nobody uses it anymore because at first I thought this is a great little app because it'll allow me to post things that I only want a handful of people to see. But then I thought, well, how much private stuff am I really going to post? What am I going to post?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture of my pet. Nobody cares if that's private or not. I don't have, and it's either going to go out there to everybody. Here's me at Comic-Con, right? Or it's not. So Path was
that's
gorgeous.
How I felt too.
And after a while, I just went, nah, what's the point? Just post it publicly. What does it matter if like 3 people can see it? I mean,
everything that I was posting on Path anyways, I was making public on Path. And most of those people were already on, I already had friended on any other social media site. So what's the point? I'm already doing this. I'm already posting this to Facebook and Twitter and Google+. Why do I have to go into a separate app and post to this little community here? I'm not going to take that extra step.
Exactly. And so anyway, that point being that here's another gorgeous app, just like the original Color, which sort of failed in its functionality based on the fact that you don't really need it. So now with Apple rumoring, I just made up a word, rumored to be buying Color Labs. This is interesting because is Apple trying to get into some sort of live video conferencing thing? Because they already have FaceTime.
Unless they just want more engineers for FaceTime.
Yeah, but there are a lot of smart people out in the valley and around the country that could work at Apple. I mean, I got recruited to work
Yeah,
on
and these
QuickTime
color
years ago.
people are some of them. They're in the
Yeah.
valley.
So I don't know. Do they really need to buy Color Labs? All right, here I'll give an example. Okay, let's go.
Did they
even
need
deeper.
to buy Lala? Did they need to buy really anybody that they bought?
Well, that was going to be my point. Is that the creator of Color Labs is also the creator of Lala. Apple bought Lala, and we thought that it was going to become something huge, and of course it did. Sort of. It became iTunes Match in a way.
Kind of.
It's not exactly what I was hoping it would be, but that's what it was. Now they're buying Color Labs, and if they're buying it not for the for the talent, but I'm sure it's not just that. But if they're buying it for the talent and because they're going to try and create some sort of social media video thing that we don't know, it's going to be a year before we see it.
Oh, and yeah, if not more so. But really, I feel like at this point, Apple's got money to burn, and if they see something kind of cool and shiny, they're gonna buy it. That's
Cool.
what it feels like right now.
Do I have a cool and shiny sound effect? I wonder if I do.
Oh, you need to get the shiny from EQ2. Yes.
Well, no, not that one. Wait a minute. Wait. There
Yes,
you
that
go.
one.
That one.
Ah, yes.
Okay. All right.
What was the other one? The level up? Or the quest?
was that you discovered something, not that.
Oh, okay. Not
yeah.
the shiny. Yeah. Totally different.
So there you go. Vague reference for those of you that never played EverQuest 2, but that's okay. So we'll keep an eye on this for sure. I really want to see what Apple is buying Color Labs for. And if anything, if this is true, granted, the $41 million really wasn't showing much.
No,
so maybe
not at
this
all.
is
I wonder if Sequoia's like freaking bums.
Well, I see. I don't live in the valley. I live in Jersey, so I don't see a lot of. I don't
Not
see a
at
lot
all
of
the
this
same.
culture of millions of dollars being thrown around like water.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job. I'm happy with having a job. I really am. I love my job, and I'm doing what makes me happy. I'm writing iPhone apps, and there you go. But this money that's thrown around out there, it's just crazy. But maybe to some people, $41 million is nothing. I don't know. I don't know what does happen if you're invested and then the money runs out. That's a whole different topic, isn't
You should
it?
ask Kevin Rose.
Yeah, sure. I'll just call him up.
Yeah, just call him up.
All right. What's going on October 23rd?
Finally, the much anticipated Apple event has been announced. The invites went out, yesterday? Monday? Either Monday or yesterday.
Yeah.
We all knew this was coming end of October, and it was just a matter of Apple sending out the invites and announcing it. And that happened this week. Apple event, October 23rd, so next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on the Apple campus, I believe, and it's very small. The invites only went out to a very small group of press, and the actual invite you can see here on the video if you're watching that. It says, "We've got a little more to show you." So the joke was kind of like, that's it. It's going to be called the iPad Little.
The iPad Little. Right. Okay. The iPad Little. So, all right. Well, this is what we're expecting right now. We're expecting an iPad mini. Only because we more or less know that this is coming out because we've seen
There's so many
the
leaks
picture.
now. It's
the
just
leaks.
crazy with leaks everywhere.
Yeah, it's just nothing is sacred anymore. It's like somebody
know.
just snags a picture with their camera, and then we know this is coming out. There were rumors that there was going to be a new iMac. Okay, maybe. Although
maybe,
Phil
yeah.
Schiller said that wasn't coming until next year.
Rumors. I've heard rumors of the Retina MacBook Pro 13.
Okay.
And I also think, along with our iPad Mini, we'll probably see just a case refresh to the third generation iPad, so that it will join the iPhone 5 and getting the Lightning connector.
Now, if they're going to launch a new Mac Mini, do you think that their little blurb, their little teaser would be for that? Because the Mac Mini is not a real big event promotion.
No,
Ooh,
they
Mac Mini.
could just update the store and not really even announce that.
Sure.
they just update the store and suddenly there's new Mac Minis on there, but there was no announcement following it. That seems pertinent to. They've even done that with the iMacs. For some refreshes, they just update the store and everybody just found out. So that seems like that kind of update.
Yeah, so that's why I think that this little blurb teaser is specifically for the iPad Mini or whatever they're going to call it. Which I think iPad Mini makes a lot of sense as a name.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Nano. I don't think it's going to be anything else.
The iPad Nano. Yeah, it's called an iPhone.
Yeah, that's the Nano. There's still like kind of a lot of conjecture on the sizes and price points. I'm thinking I was thinking that they wouldn't go as high as $299 on this. But now, I was kind of thinking, well, once they release the iPad Mini, how they have right now they have the third generation iPad starting at $499 and the old gen iPad starting at what, $299? $399.
Yeah.
And the iPod Touch starts at $299. So it would make sense they're probably going to yank the iPad 2 off the market. That's not going to be a thing anymore because that would just be too confusing, and put in like right at that price point. At $299, I think would make the most sense to put the iPad Mini.
Okay.
And then there's also, like I said, conjecture on sizes. People are saying there's going to be an 8 gig all the way up to 64 gigs on storage. Maybe, but I think storage is small enough to the point now where they don't need to start at 8, and nobody really starts at 8 anymore. That just seems too small, and storage is cheap and small now. They can start at 16, even with a smaller case. I don't think that would be a big deal.
I'm surprised that the iPhone didn't have 128 gigabytes in it. Really?
Yeah.
If you think about it, because I mean, you can buy 128 gigabyte thumb drives cheap. So anyway, the Microsoft Surface prices have been announced. Now, go ahead, because you put this down here, so you start.
Well, I thought it was interesting that it's right around the pre-orders started this week. They announced the prices, and they're actual launching October 26th, right around the same time as this Apple event. And the Surface, now this is the 32 gig RT version. No mention of the Pros yet. Starts at $499. Head to head with the starting price of the full iPad.
Sure.
Which is its competitor. And if you didn't hear about that in the news this week, no surprise, obviously, because Apple's announcement pretty much trounced all that news.
Yeah.
And their actual event next week is probably going to trounce all the news of the actual launch of the Surface next week. So
probably.
Interesting timing on both their parts.
Now, I have been keeping a little bit of an eye on the Microsoft Surface, and I was looking at the Surface tablet, and it's really interesting. This Surface, does it have all the real cool technology where you can like place a phone on it and it would no. It's not gonna. It has little to nothing to do with the big
table? Microsoft Surface table that we kind of know the name as.
Okay, so that just like killed it for me, because I like the idea of what the table had. I like that you could put devices on it and it would know what it is, and so, and it would know their orientation, and you can connect to them between the table and the device, and device to device, and all these really cool things. I gotta give Microsoft props for what they were doing with the table. But I did not keep up with the technology that was going into the Surface. So this is just a tablet?
It's just a normal tablet. It's Surface in name only. Like I said, it has little to nothing to do with the big table. It's strictly running Windows 8. Now, the RT version is a kind of minimized, lower, Windows 8 version, strictly for tablets.
Right.
And the RT version of the tablets are going to have ARM processors. Now the Pro version of the tablets, which again, there's been no mention of them launching yet, so I'm guessing either later this year, maybe early next year. Those will have a full version of Windows 8 and also have, I believe, an i5 processor in them. So they'll be a little thicker, a little bit heavier tablet, but much more heavy duty and be able to do much more work. These are more light. The ones coming out now, the RT ones, lighter, kind of simpler, more like what tablets we have out on the market now.
Okay. So I'd be more inclined to get a Microsoft Surface than an Android tablet, just because Microsoft is already entrenched in so much. And I would think that even though people, I'm not going to get into the whole open closed source thing, but I know that there used to be this immense hatred between Apple and Microsoft people. Today, I don't really feel that anymore. It's like today, it's like, well, what's Microsoft doing? Sort of like, let's sort of like peek in the door and see what Microsoft's doing. I don't really feel that way about Android, because to me, Android is like, so what?
Well, also, like, Microsoft has, much like Apple, they have a richer ecosystem. They have a desktop operating system. They have a mobile operating system.
Sure.
They have a good TV box, kind of entertainment set-top box, and the Xbox, even though it's a game console. It's a lot like the Apple TV, so that you can share your media from your Windows computer to your Windows mobile device to your Xbox, like we can with Mac, iPad, Apple TV, scenario. So they have like all three components. Android doesn't.
And that is the reason why I don't like Android, because they are missing so many key components in having a true ecosystem. And I realize that people will say, well, you've got all these Google apps. I get that.
Google TV, but it's TV. Like, it's kind of, it's almost there. And
how many people do you know that even have a Google TV?
I don't know anybody who has it.
Me neither.
I don't even have it.
I have 30 or 40 friends on Xbox Live. Right? And my point being is that Microsoft has a lot more invested in a pure ecosystem. Even though there are things about the ecosystem that irk me, I don't hate it. I get it. I respect it.
No, you're right. Exactly.
And I think that it works for some people. It doesn't work for me for a variety of reasons, which I'm really not going to get into, because I'll go off on a tangent and I'll never come back.
Yes.
But they just irk me. I don't hate it. So the Surface seems to be a piece of the puzzle that Microsoft. I realize that there have been Microsoft tablets before, but this specific type of tablet seems to fit more into the current ecosystem than the previous tablets. And I would be more inclined to buy one for the hell of it, like a cheap version. Like, I'm not going to spend $500 on a Microsoft Surface, but if there was like maybe a $250 version,
maybe like a refurbished or used one off eBay.
So, like, I'll give you an example. I bought an HP touchpad because I wanted to play around with it when they were $100. Because they were $100.
Because it's $100. Yeah, that's the only reason anybody I know who has one. It was when they were closing them out for $99, and that's the only reason, because it was $99.
Yep, and that was it. I would on this device, I would really like to see if it performs as well as my gaming PC. And I know there's some people that are going, maybe not. People have been surprised by specs before. Will it play World of Warcraft? Will it? See, we don't know.
Because I think the main problem there is going to be the touch interface. You can hook up a keyboard with the touch cover thing, but you still don't have a mouse. WoW is going to require mouse input. I don't care what you do.
I totally agree with you, but I thought that the Surface had Bluetooth in it.
It does, but so does the iPad. Doesn't mean you can use a mouse with it.
I have to look that up, because I would think that Microsoft would, if they're going for a desktop replacement device, because the iPad is not a desktop.
I don't think they are. The iPad wasn't a desktop replacement.
No, but
I don't think the Surface is supposed to be either.
See,
Especially the RT version. Maybe the Pro version, not this one.
all right, I have to do a little more research on this because, like I said, I sort of fell by the wayside in doing some Surface research over the. No, really, because I was like, no, so what? But if you all right, let's assume for a second that you can use a mouse on this thing.
Okay. Let's also assume that unicorns are real.
No, I'm just saying, portable gaming on these things. You don't have to bring your big beefy PC anymore. You can just bring your tablet and a stand. I think that would be cool.
Okay, yeah, but you can also play WoW on the 11-inch MacBook Air. Doesn't mean it's going to be an awesome experience. Doesn't mean you're going to play it on high settings. Doesn't mean that you're going to do that all the time. Doesn't mean that Air isn't going to heat the F up.
I'm not debating you. I'm totally agree with that. I'm just saying for some people that may want to play WoW in the car or something like that over MiFi or something like that, they could do it. Now here's another thing.
But it's going to be laggy.
No. Don't ditch the MiFi because I was actually playing World of Warcraft about 2 years ago on my very first 4G. No, it was I don't remember. I think maybe it was a 3G MiFi, but I was actually playing with very little lag in the car doing 60. It was working on my MacBook Pro.
Okay.
I did the test. I was getting like 40 or 50 millisecond ping, which for 2 years ago was good.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Was this pre-Kata?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
But anyway, so another thing, will VLC work on this? That's another big thing for me. Is if VideoLAN client works on this, then it'll be
probably in an
huge.
app.
Yeah.
Just anything that you can do on the iPad and how the iPad works, just assume that's going to be the case with the Surface because in a lot of ways, they pretty much just, look to the iPad as what they're going to do with their mobile operating system. And it's very similar.
Yeah. So when these things come out, it'll probably be all over Hard OCP and all those big sites. And I haven't really kept up with them in a while. I should get back into that. I used to be really hardcore with that stuff years ago.
That's okay.
But not anymore. Not with the Windows stuff. Apple is removing the Java applet from OS X. Oh my God, what are they thinking?
They're thinking that Java has way too many freaking 0-day exploits like every other day, and Oracle doesn't keep up with the updates, so they're yanking it.
Yeah, so they're basically saying, look, if you want to do it, you do it yourself. And Apple is looking to have a plug-in free internet. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I don't either. I mean, I can see why they would want to do this, which is kind of funny after they released, extensions for Safari, and then they're like, you know what? No plugins. Everything would be much cleaner. They'd be able to control it more. There wouldn't be so many problems because obviously with plugins, if they're not working, if they get hacked, if the developer doesn't keep on it, it's out of their control. And then Apple obviously gets blamed. So I can see why they'd want to just wash their hands of all of this. But I don't think that's ever going to happen now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I haven't updated yet, only because I just like to keep my setup right. I'll reboot probably this weekend. I'm not so thrilled about this whole Java thing. That this 0-day exploit and Java always seems to be a
like
moving
every
target.
other day.
Yeah, all the time. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to actually toss to you.
Okay, toss to me.
Hey, what's going on at Foxconn?
Oh, geez, just a ton of stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Nobody's burned it to the ground yet.
Not yet. They're still working for the time being.
Oh, people give Foxconn a hard time because Apple is attached to them, and I totally understand that. But just remember, people, that a lot of things are built at Foxconn other than Apple devices. Foxconn is saying that the iPhone is the most difficult device it's ever assembled. Okay,
What? That's
well,
crazy.
I don't see that being very surprising. I'm sure, like later on, there are going to be more devices. They're going to be even harder to build. Look, I'm not a hardware engineer. I was deathly afraid of hardware engineering when I was in college. I just completely got away from it. I was just like, look, it's a chip. Just tell me how it works, and I'll program the hell out of it. But I don't care about how it's built.
Yeah.
However, I have looked inside one of these things on iFixit, and yeah, it's pretty damn complicated. To be honest, in my limited knowledge of hardware design, I really don't know why a lot of these components couldn't be built more on one single chip. I know they tried. They've got that bizarre looking motherboard, but I'm wondering, could they have put more on a single
I'm
layer?
sure they probably
tried.
engineered the crap out of that.
I'm sure they have. I'm
I'm sure they've thought of
talking
that.
out of my ass. I think I have to take a better look at it. But
Yes, they're waiting for Michael Gaines to take a look at it.
yeah,
Actually.
of course, this thing is going to be the most difficult device it's ever assembled. And
Well, a lot of the shipping holdup is actually because the screens and the digitizer right now, like it's so, LG and I think Sharp are there's a bottleneck because it's so difficult to put these things together, and it's taking longer than expected. But I mean, look at it. Obviously, if you saw the intro kind of video at the launch event, where the machine, it takes a picture of the faceplate and then it chooses out of 100 faceplates which one is the most like it, and oh, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, duh.
What I don't understand is, why do they need people to put this stuff together? I mean, there's so many things in this world nowadays, cars, everything, that are automated. What?
You're gonna go there?
No, really. It's like, why isn't more of the stuff just put together by machines? Like, what I'm saying is, like, why do they actually need people?
It's bad enough these Foxconn employees, get beat up, and they're getting, shitty wages and shitty hours. But now you just want to do away with them altogether and bring in the machines.
I don't. I just wonder if they're complaining so much, because you know what happens is people start complaining. No, people start complaining. It's like, all right, we'll just bring in the machines and do it.
Oh, you don't like your job? Oh, well, this machine isn't complaining. We can just bring him in. Okay. Oh, you're not complaining anymore? Oh, you can work weekends now? Great. Okay.
The only machines I've ever heard complain are 3PO and Marvin the Paranoid Android, and that's it.
So Foxconn's not going to hire them.
No, I'm saying that they can complain all they want. I realize that these things take a while to put together, but could this be automated a little more? No. You're shaking your head no.
Stop talking.
What is,
I just hear the complaints coming in now.
What is your take on this?
I say I'm not gonna say anything. I don't think there's a good stance to take on this about the anytime you talk about Foxconn, it seems like there's no good way to talk about it, as we saw in this last weekend's SNL skit.
Oh yes, this okay. Well, that's true. They were making fun of how the iPads were put, the iPods and iPhones, iPads were put together, and of course, because it seems like NBC is all like litigious and everything, we're not gonna post any audio or video,
play anything. But they had a skit where they kind of brought together pundits from Wired and CNET and everything, all the tech blogs who were complaining about maps and the scuffs on the iPhone 5 and the purple lens flare when you take pictures of the sun and all of this. And then they brought in a group of Foxconn workers to respond to all the tech journalist complaints. It's pretty funny.
You found it funny?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. At first I was like, oh, this is meh. But then I couldn't help but laugh when they started playing the Chinese sad violin and doing the sarcastic dance.
Yeah. Here's the thing is that I've had this love-hate relationship with SNL. It seems like sometimes they really miss the mark on their humor. It's sometimes when they try to do comedy sketches, well, of course, comedy sketches about when they try to do sketches about technology, sometimes they fail really badly.
Well, I mean, I can see, obviously you and I know where the inconsistencies are.
Oh, sure.
But I think they were close enough, and obviously their main audience isn't going to know the difference.
No,
So-
see, that's the thing is that people like you and me that really know the story are going to look at it and go, not quite
yeah,
accurate.
exactly. That's not quite right, but you're close, and But I mean, really, it's like comic book movies when they miss the mark. They don't, oh, that's not how the book went.
Yeah.
But you're close. Okay.
Yeah, except Avengers.
Oh, well, I'm not going to even get into that.
What? You liked Avengers?
I did. I liked Avengers like I liked X-Men First Class, not because it was 100% accurate.
Oh, okay.
Because it was an entertaining movie.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless.
Okay. Well, you know what? We can talk about that tomorrow on the Nexicon.
Okay, then.
Logitech has this amazing new wireless 720p camera that works on Mac or PC. I am in love with this thing, and I haven't even bought it yet. I don't think I ever will, but...
What's it using if it's wired?
It's Wi-Fi.
What?
And
that's carrying 720p?
I'm telling you, it does Wi-Fi over 720p over Wi-Fi, and it just talks to your devices directly. I love this thing, and I want to just hug
Does
it.
it work with both Mac and PC?
Yes, it does. Over
and
Wi-Fi.
And it's video and audio.
Mm-hmm.
Like what spec is it using? I have to think like it's using AirPlay or WiDi or something.
I don't know specifically, but
is this magic?
It's $200 though. But
I
a part
bet
of me,
it is.
I know there's like a part of me that says
wireless
buy
VGA. It's like $250 still.
I know, and this thing is doing 720, which of course with Logitech on the Mac it'll probably be like 160 by 120, and we'll like it. No, but seriously, Logitech really needs to work on their Mac support for their devices.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
it doesn't say much in this article. I'd have to look more into it, but I'd be really curious to see what spec they're using if it's just over Wi-Fi.
And it works on your iPad also. That's the amazing thing.
See, I wonder if it's AirPlay.
I don't know. It doesn't say. And
if it was WiDi, then I think it might be PC only.
But if anything, it'll be awesome because if you're somebody that wants to use your iPad 3 for whatever reason, I mean, yeah, we've got iPhone 5s that are faster. I get that. But if you want to use your iPad for whatever reason, you can have this thing. From what this article says, this is on 9 to 5. I'm sorry, Cult of Mac. You can have this device talk to your iPad and use it as a camera directly instead of just the device or the camera that's on the device. And I think that's amazing.
If this would work with Apple TV, then you'd actually have an affordable living room Skype situation. Because a lot of those living room, Skype cameras, they're like $400, $500, $600 just for the living room setup, which is ridiculous.
Yep. I want to see if this is available to buy yet. Because it doesn't say in the art. Oh wait, here it is. Amazon.com. It is. There it is. Oh, temporarily out of stock. Oh, maybe they just haven't gotten it yet. Logitech Broadcaster Wi-Fi webcam for HD streaming, calling, recording. $190.95 on Amazon.
Save 5 cents.
This thing connects to a built. Oh, it's got a built-in mount. You can connect it to any standard tripod, and it's got a stand that looks to be about 3 or 4 inches tall, and then the camera has a connector that you can detach from that, and then that's where you can connect it to a tripod. Oh, this thing looks amazing. I want this thing now. Oh, it's okay. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna show this on video real quick. How am I going to do this way? So. Unfortunately, the way that I have this set up, I can't really do it the way that I want. And I tell you, here, I'll do this. Broadcast to Ustream. They're showing this. I'm showing this on on video is that it's showing broadcast to Ustream using an iPad app. That's the amazing thing about this, is that now you can use this camera. So instead of like trying to prop your iPad up or something like that, now you can just use this 720p camera. And I think this is amazing. I want this, and I want it now. So, I think it would be good for broadcasters like myself.
Well, no, yeah. This sounds like it would go hand in hand with some of those new blue mics that plug directly into like your iPad or iPhone. You know, that are more for kind of like mobile broadcasting, but doing it with much higher quality audio and video now.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Awesome.
When this comes out, if anybody's listening and wants to ship one to us for testing, let us know. Yeah, I still can't find one for sale yet, so maybe it'll be a little while. All right, let's move on to rapid fire. This is a joke. No, it's not. Clout has a Passbook ticket creator. Does anybody really care about this? Who cares about Clout? Oh, we're going to get hate mail for that. The reason why I don't like Clout is because I think I've talked about this on other podcasts, is that you can so game the system.
Yeah.
And it's so inaccurate.
Well, you can buy Twitter followers. I mean, that alone just throws it out of the water.
Yeah. But now you can get a Passbook ticket made with your iCloud information on it. Does anybody...
So you can just flash it around whenever you need to.
Yeah. Does anybody really care about this?
People on Clout, I'm assuming, care.
Well,
other Clout people.
It's like, and it creates a QR code, which I assume just links directly to your Clout. Yeah. I didn't even read the article all the way. I saw it and no, really, because I always read the articles. But the thing is, like with this one, I just looked at it and I just went, oh, I got to put this in as a joke. That's really all this was. It was just like a joke article. Because
you know what I'm kind of feeling like Passport itself is a joke.
Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, well, let's move to the next article first. Okay. You put this up. This is related. Go ahead.
Apple Trademark, like everything, has trademarked and patented Passbook itself, the app.
Okay. Do we care?
No, I mean, I wasn't cooking up a competitor app for this, but I feel like there's already apps in the App Store now that do exactly what Passbook does or very close to it. But, you know, Apple has been patenting everything, so whatever, you know. I mean, whatever.
Well, all right. So what is it about Passbook that you don't like?
Well, I feel like it was the only really new thing in iOS, because iOS was a lot of just improvements and updates on existing stuff. You know, they improved on Siri, they improved on, or you know, didn't improve on Maps. A lot of stuff like that. Passbook was the only thing that was new in iOS 6, and it really doesn't even work. All it does is pull tickets or passes from other apps, of which there is like maybe 5. There aren't even that many in the App Store now that work with Passbook. Like, Passbook would be great if you could make your own passes in the app. Why can't you do that? Why is that not a thing? That seems like just idiotic to me.
Totally agree with you on that point, because I was doing a little reading about Passbook about 2 days ago, and I was trying to figure out how I could create my own Passbook entries for, let's say you've got some tickets for some concerts that were important to you. You just want to,
just anything.
That's nostalgic. Let's say that you, now granted, there is a Fandango app, okay? But let's say you wanted to create some sort of barcode that you know would work for your supermarket, like CardStar does. Why is that ability not in this. This is what I thought that Passbook was going to be.
Right, I did too. And then we get it and it doesn't do anything.
No.
It's more dead on arrival than Maps was.
Well, all right. So I'm looking at the list. There are 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 apps now, which is still not a lot. There needs to be a lot more. I realize that Starbucks is in there now. That's important. Live Nation, maybe. Fandango, maybe. The rest of these are like American Airlines and United Airlines and things like. Well, I don't know how important those are going to be.
Still,
For
yeah,
people.
those are only like one or two of. It seems like each kind of category or genre, like airlines, only has like 2 out of how many airlines are there?
Right.
For movie theaters, there's only like 1 out of 3 major movie theaters there are. Amtrak or anything like that, bus passes, there's nothing. Most restaurants and food and stores have nothing. Like you have Starbucks and that's about it for like food type category stuff. I mean, there's just
so you're right. Like I want to be able to put in my my grocery store. I want to be able to put in my gym card. I want to be able to put all these things in, and then with the screen locked, I want to be able to go boink and hit a button or something, and then have Passbook just show my the code, whatever it is, whatever barcode or QR code or whatever code that it shows, so that it can be scanned in, and that needs to be made like yesterday.
Yeah, I have like a stack of gift cards in my purse. I was all excited. I'm going to put all these in. None of them work. None of them have apps in the App Store now that hook up with Passbook. Well, like, this is a total waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually excited for Passbook when it was first announced because I thought that it was going to be Apple's solution for, like you said, all these other apps that we have.
Or at first we thought it was kind of going to be like a competitor to Google Wallet.
Or that too.
That wasn't really, and there's kind of still rumors that they're working on that with like your iTunes account, kind of like a checkout type app solution. How you can do with the Apple Store app now when you're in the Apple Store. You can kind of check yourself out by scanning the barcode and it charges your iTunes account and you don't even have to bother anybody in the store.
Yeah.
They're talking about making, I guess, a more general app where you can do that with more stores. But if it's anything like Passbook, I don't know.
Not thrilled, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it all sounds great. If they can get it together, great. Charge everything to my iTunes. I'm on it, and I'll just pay with everything with my phone and just scan everything, and not have to be a total recluse and not talk to anybody in the stores or anything like that. But I don't know.
You brought up an interesting point. Charge it to my iTunes account. I wonder if Apple is aware of the fact that people want that and then are working on I know you said that Apple's working on a Google Wallet competitor, but I wonder if this entire payment ecosystem that they have for iTunes is going to be renamed into something else. Like
maybe.
Like iPay or something like that. iWallet or whatever.
Yeah, if it becomes more general for everything, take the iTunes name off of it. Well, they kind of already are now because your iTunes and your iCloud accounts are kind of synonymous now. So they refer to, or it used to be like your .Mac account, and it used to be your Apple account. And now if you go into the store and you talk to any of the Genius Bar people, it's always your iCloud account. True. And and a lot of times that's hooked up to your iTunes account, or it's the same for some people. So they've kind of taken the moniker off, but I would think if they went with this payment thing, then they'd even have to take off the iCloud name as well, unless they were strictly referring to like iCloud backups. They give it another name that's more general for payments.
Yep, I agree. And lastly, in rapid fire, what do you have for us?
Well, all that fuss about Apple using the Swiss railway clock in the new iPad iOS 6 for the clock app. everybody was like, oh, they can't use that design. It's trademarked, by the Swiss Railway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Apple finally settled that and got a license for it. Much to the surprise of this other company, a watch manufacturer by the name of Mundane, they
Mm-hmm.
actually make watches with that specific design on the face, and they apparently hold a long-term exclusive license for the design, but
Oops.
didn't had no idea about this until it came out in the news that Apple snuck in there and got their own license too. So,
Oh.
oh well.
Oh well. For those of you that are not watching the video, I just showed it. It's essentially, if you don't know what it even looks like on iOS 6, it's a white circle for a clock, obviously. But I'm just saying the
What's
color.
a clock look
The
like?
color. I'm just saying
What's
the
a
color.
clock?
It's a white circular background, and instead of numbers, it's thick black lines for every 5, and then thin ones for every 4. The hands are thick black, and then but this I think is a defining thing is that the second hand is red with a dot on the long end of it.
Yeah.
That's what the Swiss clock looks like. I didn't know that this thing had some sort of trademark on it.
Yeah, apparently. It's so simple that it's such a simple kind of almost Bauhaus design that you wouldn't
Yeah.
think, oh, that's okay, that's going to be trademarked.
I know it's almost like Helvetica.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think a lot of people realize that Helvetica is trademarked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so ubiquitous nowadays.
It is. It's used. If you ever watch the movie, the
Helvetica.
documentary Helvetica, they kind of go into how it's used everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
which, it's a fabulous typeface. So,
It
yes,
is.
of course. But, yeah. I was going to say, how do we get onto that tangent?
Okay.
Um,
Let's get off the tangent.
anyways.
Let's move on to apps before we go. My app today is something that I saw early this morning from Robert Scoble. He did a little video for Rackspace, sort of spotlighting these guys who created an app called lightt, L-I-G-H-T-T. It's basically the word light with 2 T's. And what it does is instead of like Instagram where you take one picture and then that's your picture, it takes a series of pictures over 10 seconds and then it strings them together in your stream. So if I go to, let's say, if Kacey was using it, I know you're not, but if you were using it, it would be, let's say, 10, and the pictures are not taken sequentially. It's not like a video. They're like staggered pictures. So it'd be like 10 pictures taken just like maybe a second apart or something like that of you driving. And then the next one would be a few days later of you walking around. The interesting part about this is that it's not video, there's no audio, but it's almost like a fragment of people's lives and they're all strung together. And I'm not really sure if this is going to catch on. I honestly believe that it's a neat idea, but is it unique enough where somebody can't come in and, like, for example, I'll give you a good reason why it may not survive is because there was a website years ago called 12seconds.tv, and then people could record 12 seconds of their life, just 12 seconds, and that was it. And it didn't survive. I don't really remember why, but they closed their doors a little while ago, like about a year or so ago. They closed their doors. There were some friends of mine and I that were using it a lot because we're all from the seismic video days. It didn't string your feed together like this does, but on one hand I think that it's a neat idea. On the other hand, I'm really not sure the long-term purpose of this, because after about a year of this, all I'm going to see from people are just like a bunch of really short clips, and I just go, well, do we need this? Because if I were to take something, I may just take a short video. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't somebody just resurrect 12 seconds? Not the actual company, but resurrect something like 12 seconds, but change the way that the videos are presented. That's what I would think. But anyway, it's worth.
There's so
looking
many
at.
people trying to get into that kind of, short web video space. It just feels like, okay, go ahead. Good luck.
Look, admittedly, I was working on that 2 years ago. I had an app. It was like an Instagram clone, except I don't want to use the word clone. I had my own ideas of how it was going to separate itself from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that Instagram, I'm going to use this word again. It's a big word. Instagram has become so ubiquitous in everybody's lives that I just went, even with the cool stuff that I'm going to add to it, all these unique features that still to this day, a lot of these photo sharing apps do not have. I just went, I'll just work on something else. So it wasn't worth it. But you're right. I'm agreeing with you with my own point is that I tried and I just went, it's just
Yeah,
not
no,
worth it.
because I mean, anytime I hear something like that, and people are like, okay, so it's an app for sharing video, but it also does this, and I just hear like sharing video. I already have that.
Yeah. It's called Facebook. It's called Twitter. It's called
Yeah,
100
right.
other
I mean,
things.
and anything else like all these, photo editing apps. I already have like 3 or 4 apps on my phone right now that edit photos and share them. Even if yours has like another cool little filter or does one other trick, I don't care. I'm not going to get another one.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, not sure where this is going to go, but like I said, worth taking a look at. Maybe in a year they won't be around. Who knows? But I don't. Another thing I just want to say real quick before I stop talking about this app. It has a list of people that I follow on Twitter that are using this app. I know 2 people. They're like only 2 people that are using the app. It has a bunch of strangers. I don't know where these people come from. They must be just like popular people or people that work in the company
People
or something
that
like that.
follow Scoble.
Or something. But I mean, I'm following Scoble, and then there's like one other person that I know, and that's it. So after today, because the point I'm making is that after today with Scoble talking about this app and how great it is, and at first I'm like, well, this is a great little app. By the end of the day, because you know how it works, if it's a good site, everybody goes there, and by the end of the day, everybody's using it. The end of the day today, one other person, and that was it. So I'm a little worried. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. What's yours?
So my app is a silly little game I found over the weekend called Kumo Lumo.
Okay.
It's very silly and bizarre. I love silly little games. I mean, the sillier the better. And if it's got, just crazy, silly graphics that don't take itself too seriously or anything, and silly, fun music, then I'm all for it. If you ever played Godfinger, I mean, it's still around, but it was really popular a year or so ago. It's a lot like that, where you're controlling kind of a world, and it spins around where you only see like maybe a quarter of it in the view, and you spin it around like that. The whole your character is actually a cloud. And the art style kind of reminds me of Little Big Planet, where it looks like 2D, but like on a kind of almost diorama type background. Your character's a cloud, and you go around, raining on forests and raining on little alien dudes to kill them, and putting out little pollution clouds. It's very, very silly, and it's just a fun little time waster. But I like it. I think it was either free or 99 cents, or just either very cheap or free. And it was fun. I wasted a lot of time on it.
And wasting time is always good. Hey, we should have a segment called Things We Waste Our Time On.
Yeah, right?
All right, that's going to do it for this show, isn't it?
I think that's about it for this week. We are on the Facebook as The Infinite Loop Show, The Infinite Loop Show at gmail.com for any comments or concerns.
If you want to complain about what I say about Foxconn.
Right. If you think Mike looks like a hippie, go ahead, send us an email. We're also the Infinite Loop Show on Google Plus, Infinite Loop TV. On Twitter. This guy is happy. And we are on the next account.
Yes. Something happened to your audio.
Oh, well, maybe somebody's playing music over me.
No, I turned it down. It shouldn't be. It was fine, and then it stopped. All right. Did you say our Twitter IDs?
Yes.
Okay. In case I got drowned out on the video, I am at StarMike. Kacey is Kacey Queso, Kacuikaso. That's it for this show. We will see you next week for episode 40.
40. Oh my God, we're gonna have a midlife crisis next week
I'm buying a vet.
because the iPad Mini is coming out.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.